On December 16, 2022, the final Boeing 747 rolled off the production line at Boeing's Everett factory. With more airlines retiring the aircraft in favor of smaller, more efficient jets, it looked like the end of an era. But in a twist no one expected, the Queen of the Skies might soon return. This time with just 2 engines instead of 4. Could this iconic airliner be gearing up for a groundbreaking comeback? The Boeing 747 didn't just change air travel, it revolutionized it. The first Boeing 747 made its maiden flight on February 9, 1969 from Boeing's facility in Everett, Washington. This wasn't just any flight, it was a crucial test that marked the dawn of a new era in aviation. With its massive size and impressive range, the 747 was a game changer, reshaping long-haul travel and quickly earning a reputation as the Queen of the Skies. It didn't just capture the imagination of the public, it transformed the aviation industry by making air travel more accessible and affordable. Airlines loved the 747 for its ability to carry hundreds of passengers across long distances, while passengers adored it for its spaciousness and comfort. Competing aircraft like the Lockheed L-1011 TriStar and McDonnell Douglas DC-10 couldn't match the 747's combination of range, capacity, and cost efficiency. The original 747 was powered by 4 Pratt & Whitney JT9D turbofan engines. These engines, considered state-of-the-art at the time, helped the 747 carry around 400 passengers, more than double the capacity of Boeing's earlier jetliner, the 707, which could only accommodate 189. This increase in capacity meant airlines could significantly reduce seat mile costs, making flights cheaper and more profitable. Over time, Boeing continued to enhance the 747, fitting it with engines like the General Electric CF6 and the Rolls-Royce RB211. These improvements allowed airlines to select engines that best fit their operational needs, giving them greater flexibility in managing their fleets. The 747 became the backbone of international travel, connecting major hubs around the world. Its double-deck configuration, with an upper deck that often featured lounges and bars, turned long-haul flights into luxurious journeys. For many, the 747 was not just a plane, but a symbol of the golden age of air travel. But the very innovations that made the 747 a legend would soon become its greatest hurdles. However, despite its early success and enduring popularity, the 747 faced challenges as time went on. Its size, which was initially a selling point, became a liability for many airlines. The 747 required airports with runways long enough to accommodate its weight and gates large enough to handle its wingspan, limiting the number of airports it could serve. Additionally, as aviation technology advanced, newer, smaller, and more fuel-efficient jets like the Boeing 787 Dreamliner and the Airbus A350 emerged. These aircraft offered similar range capabilities as the 747, but with significantly lower operating costs. The introduction of these newer jets marked the beginning of the end for the 747's dominance in the skies. By the 21st century, the Queen of the Skies was on the verge of being grounded for good. By July 2020, Boeing made the tough decision to end production of the 747. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated this decision as airlines around the world struggled with plummeting demand and rising operational costs. Many airlines decided to retire their 747 fleets early, opting for smaller, more economical aircraft that were better suited for the changing landscape of the aviation industry. The shift away from the traditional hub-and-spoke model to a point-to-point model further marginalized the 747. In a hub-and-spoke model, airlines funneled passengers through large hub airports before sending them to their final destinations. This model favored large aircraft like the 747, which could carry hundreds of passengers between major hubs. But as airlines began to favor the point-to-point model, which allows for direct flights between smaller airports, the need for such large aircraft diminished. But just when it seemed like the 747 was destined for museums, a new opportunity emerged. Yet, not all airlines have abandoned the hub-and-spoke model. Emirates, for instance, continues to rely heavily on this model, operating a fleet that includes some of the largest jets in the world, like the Airbus A380 and the Boeing 777. These aircraft are essential for Emirates operations, which are centered around its hub in Dubai. Emirates operates numerous high-capacity flights daily, including routes between London Heathrow and Dubai, all of which are operated by A380s that are often fully booked. For an airline like Emirates, which serves a high volume of passengers on these routes, replacing an A380 with a smaller jet like a Boeing 787 would mean needing to operate multiple additional flights to carry the same number of passengers. This would not only be inefficient, but also create logistical challenges for the airline and the airports it serves. The market still needs a high-capacity aircraft, and that's where a reimagined 747 could come in. Given this situation, it's logical to ask, could there be a market for a larger aircraft that meets the needs of an airlines like Emirates, which still rely on high-capacity jets? Instead of designing a completely new aircraft from scratch, could Boeing consider bringing back the 747 in a reimagined form, perhaps with 2 engines instead of 4? The answer to the 747's revival could lie in a groundbreaking new engine, the Rolls-Royce UltraFan. When the 747 first took to the skies in the late 1960s, no engines were powerful enough to provide the necessary thrust for a twin-engine configuration. The four-engine setup was a necessity at the time. However, advances in engine technology have since changed the landscape of aviation. Today, engine manufacturers have developed engines that are not only more powerful, but also far more efficient than anything available in the 1960s. If there were engines that could provide the required thrust with just two engines, would this give the 747 a second chance at life? To explore this possibility, we need to look at Rolls-Royce, one of the world's leading engine manufacturers. Rolls-Royce has a long history of innovation in aircraft engines and could be the key to a potential 747 revival. In 2014, Rolls-Royce announced the development of a new engine called the UltraFan. This engine could potentially be powerful enough to propel a 747 with just two engines. The UltraFan is a high bypass geared turbofan engine with a massive 140-inch fan, making it larger than any commercial aircraft engine currently in use, including General Electric's GE9X. But size isn't the only impressive feature of the UltraFan. Rolls-Royce has incorporated a range of cutting-edge technologies into this engine, making it one of the most advanced in the world. One of the standout features of the UltraFan is its geared fan. This technology allows the fan and the low-pressure turbine to operate at their optimal speeds independently of each other. The result is an engine with an impressive bypass ratio of 15:1, capable of producing up to 110,000 pounds of thrust per engine. That's a total of 220,000 pounds of thrust from just two engines. 20,000 pounds more than the combined thrust of the four Pratt & Whitney JT9D engines used on the original 747. Beyond its power, the UltraFan also promises significant environmental benefits. Rolls-Royce claims that the engine will reduce fuel burn by 25%, a significant improvement that can make it an attractive option for airlines looking to cut costs and reduce their carbon footprint. Additionally, the UltraFan is expected to nearly eliminate particulate emissions and reduce nitrogen oxide emissions by about 40%, making it one of the cleanest engines on the market. Rolls-Royce is clearly committed to the UltraFan project. In May 2023, the company successfully tested the engine's technology demonstrator at its facility in Derby, United Kingdom. Notably, these tests were conducted using 100% sustainable aviation fuel, underscoring Rolls-Royce's commitment to sustainability. The successful test was a major milestone for the UltraFan program, bringing the engine one step closer to commercial use. But this powerful new engine needs an aircraft to match. Could the 747 be the perfect fit? But despite the engine's promise, there's still a major question. Why would Rolls-Royce invest so heavily in an engine that currently has no aircraft designed to use it? The pylons and nacelles of today's largest twin-engine wide-body jets would need to be restructured to accommodate the UltraFan, making it an unlikely fit for existing airframes. This raises the question, would Boeing be willing to undertake the challenge of building a new aircraft designed to use the UltraFan? Or would it consider reintroducing the 747 as a twin-engine aircraft specifically modified to take advantage of this groundbreaking technology? Even without an immediate airframe ready for the UltraFan, Rolls-Royce remains optimistic about its future. The company's chief technology officer, Grazia Vittadini, has made it clear that Rolls-Royce is actively seeking a partner. Quote, "Dear airframers, give me an aircraft and you will have your engines," she said. Perhaps it's time for Boeing to consider reopening the 747 production line with the UltraFan at the heart of the new twin-engine 747 variant. So what do you think? Could a two-engine Boeing 747 become a reality, or is this just wishful thinking? The aviation industry is at a crossroads, and the decisions made now could shape the future of air travel for decades to come. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe in a twin-engine 747? What other innovations could redefine the future of aviation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.